John Sewell, Engearment.com podcast, coming to you January 10th, 2024. Feels crazy to say that year. I feel like 2023 just kind of flew by. In this episode, I'm going to do my best to catch you up on what we've been up to last month, and very importantly, what we have coming up for 2024. There's a lot of really cool projects, amazing opportunities, some great coverage, new writers, new areas of coverage, and just a whole lot. And a lot of great guests. In fact, next week we have Arbor Belts on the podcast. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We'll have the co-founder, best friends with Cody Townsend, product development manager, and lead of marketing on. And as well, we're going to have Devin Dow. Devin Dow is going to co-host the episode with me. She wants to get into podcasting, and she, as you have seen from the videos and the write-ups, is just very bubbly and energetic and very passionate about the outdoors. And very importantly, she brings a really fun angle because she is very interested in the community projects, the feel-good backgrounds of a lot of companies, of which most companies do have something they do to give back. Devin's involved in the charity that gives back to children in Haiti. She goes down there and volunteers, and we'll put the link for her nonprofit here in the show notes as well. And like we have our Beacon Bash, that's our 501c3, that's our way of giving back to the community. So I think it's very important to shine a light on these awesome programs, giving back to various people, and also understanding the why these programs are important to the businesses and the individuals who are involved with them. So she brings a lot of that kind of angle to the reviews and to Engearment. So hopefully you guys appreciate that. And I hope that you have projects that you're passionate about too. Hopefully you have volunteer opportunities or donate money to organizations or what have you. I'm not telling you have to do that, but if you do that, then I'm sure you will understand that this is a very important angle. So with that, I'll get off my soapbox. But we have a lot of cool guests coming up. Recently we had a professional dog coach on, Molly. She was a blast to work with. And if you saw that podcast or listened to it, there was like 100 takeaways. Super helpful advice in there. I think one of the biggest takeaways I had was I learned that my approach to greeting dogs is a bit chaotic and can cause stress for the owners as well as the dogs. I like to come in hot and give belly rubs and kiss on the dogs, and they love it. I thought they loved it. They get really excited. They often get the zoomies and run around. Turns out that was not the best approach for all parties involved. So I learned that lesson among 99 other lessons in that podcast, and she has her adventure dog school as well. So my wife and I are going through that program, learning best practices, and of course I'll share that wisdom as I learn it here over the next few months. Prior to that, we have my good friend Pat Flynn on the podcast. Pat Flynn is just an absolute pleasure to talk with. He has written several best-selling books, not just on fitness, but also on theological topics. And he's an incredible guitar player too, an absolute virtuoso. So as a guitar player myself, you can probably see the SG, there it is, boom, right there in the Martin guitar right there. I do enjoy playing. I'm not very good, and I don't know what I'm doing, but I really enjoy doing it. So Pat knows what he's doing. He's very good, and it shows. So a lot of fun working with Pat. Okay, the last episode I did that was me talking to you was November 27th, and I think that was just before our 6th annual Beacon Bash. So the Beacon Bash, if you don't know, I'll try and recap real quickly. It is a nonprofit, that's a 501c3 nonprofit grassroots event that my friends Will Coleman, Wade Lancaster, and myself created 6 years ago. And we hosted it at Winter Park, usually in the parking lot. This time they gave us the whole entire base of Winter Park. Again, that was a lot of fun. And it's huge. It took a lot of planning. We met twice a week for 6 months to plan this. We met with Winter Park. We met with the Grand County Search and Rescue. We met with Weston. We met with each other. We formed a committee. Like all these things that if you would have told me we were doing that 6 years ago, I would never believe you. We're just dirtbags that split board, and we wanted to test our skills and have a pizza. That was it. Now it's grown into this huge event. Oh, get a little teared up here. huge event that actually is touring the country. We started formally the Beacon Bash nonprofit, so people can basically host their own Beacon Bashes in different ski resorts. We had one in Washington State, we have one coming up in Utah, and then the one I'll be at next will be in Sante Fe, New Mexico, at Ski Sante Fe, beginning of March. So what we're demonstrating here is a system that people can put in place to safely provide an area for people to practice their beacon, probe, and shovel skills, or learn how those skills work, and then raise money for their local avalanche information centers and local search and rescue teams. So pretty amazing. Excuse me. Getting over being sick as well. I was sick for like 3 weeks, sickest I've been as an adult, which you may have seen the lack of content, lack of involvement in the community on my part. That's what happened. I got the flu and bronchitis, and it took me out of my birthday, took me out of Christmas and New Year's and all that. But that's personal stuff. Back to the Beacon Bash. Despite incredible winter conditions, and I mean, when I say incredible, I'm being very nice. It was horrendous. It was like 4 or 5 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds were whipping up. Winds were literally launching tents. We had 48 tents, all of them secured down, the way you do professionally, with 50 plus pounds in each corner, and they were still flying away. It was a sight to see. It's like a hurricane came through, and we would have adults, male adults like myself, 215 pounds, hanging on the tents just to keep it from flying away. And despite that, despite the bitter cold, despite the crazy winds, despite the highways being closed down in both directions, different parts of that weekend, people still showed up, and they had smiles on their faces. Though their faces were frozen, they still had smiles. And it was amazing to see. People really, really came out to support, and we raised more money than I thought we would. Well, originally, I thought we were going to raise a lot of money, but we still raised a good amount despite the weather conditions. I think if we had just 1 or 2 different variables, it would have been 4 or 5 times the turnout of people and money we would raise. But we still have a lot of raffle prizes to give away. Arbor was very generous. They sent over 5 split boards. Adventure hooked up a split board. Weston hooked up a split board. A pair of skis as well. It was amazing. I'll try and insert some pictures so you can get an idea of how big the event was. But we had 45 or 50 vendor tents, and each one of them, was like a Woman Who Split Board, or BCA, or Ortovox, or Mammut, just backcountry community or backcountry companies showing up in a big way. Absolutely incredible. Here's a fun story. So music, I was a DJ for a long time, and so I take audio pretty seriously. So I went out and invested in a JBL Eon MK2 professional audio system. It's something you would probably see at a wedding or an event. I should probably do a review on that, because that was a big investment. That was like $1,200. And then I had a company send us out some wireless microphones. I'm using one right now to record, but like a handheld wireless microphone that a person would do karaoke or singing or presentations with. And so we got those sent out. So the sound was, we had it lined up. And I forgot that one of the vendors that was going to be there was actually Red Bull. And Red Bull had their Jeep with big old speakers and a DJ show up right in front of our tent, right where we're trying to speak, and then have some background music and stuff. And my friends offered DJ, Clint Richard White, he's awesome. He brought his own turntables and speaker setup as well. So we had like 3 sound systems all in one little area, and Clint was confused, and I was like, well, we should get rid of the Red Bull guy. So he went over to the Red Bull and said, hey man, you want to take the day off and go snowboard? And the guy's like, yeah, I just had music on an iPad. And so by finding the win-win-win, we got that person to have a great day. He went snowboarding the entire day. 2, we got Red Bull's equipment. We took over the Red Bull DJ system and the speakers, which were actually better than my speakers. And Clint brought in his turntables, like legit turntables, and he took over the Red Bull setup all day. So Clint got to DJ, play some really fun house music, like real good. Speaker Garage in there too. I love Speaker Garage. And then I got to do my speaker system for the raffle. I got to speak to the crowd, and Wade did a great speech. And so it all worked out. So lessons here is there's always a winning solution for all parties involved. Just a little bit of compromising, a little bit of figuring out what people want, and if you can help them get to it, everybody wins. That's just that's a little lesson right there. So the Beacon Bash was a lot of fun. My buddy Ryan Humphreys was there. He won a guided tour with my buddy Brian Mack, who's a guide at Jones Pass Guiding, who was helping run the Beacon Bash. He's a Beacon Bash chairman with me. And just a great community. Will Coleman made it. He lives in Memphis, and he actually got in town for the Beacon Bash and made it to see his creation and what it's become. My friends over at Verde PR hooked up so many things, and they brought their adventure wagon, which is this Mercedes-Benz Sprinter that we reviewed, and Devin actually has right now. She's out camping with her husband and dog, and they made bacon, and it was just a really great time. I'm rambling here because it was such a fun time. And then my friend Chris Hennessy donated his Airbnb in Winter Park, and so we had some people back there to stay the night, and just a lot of fun, a lot of fun. So a big success. In case you're wondering how the Beacon Bash went, that went very well. And then I feel like I lost the rest of December. I just got sick as a dog. My wife was sick, and if you live with somebody and they're sick, and you're in close proximity with them, there's a very good chance you're going to get sick too. So at least we were sick together. So yeah, got the flu, had 103-degree temperature for 3 or 4 days. I'm hallucinating. Barely able to walk our dog Chloe. One morning I went out to walk her, and my truck was broken into, and there's glass everywhere. And it's the week of Christmas, and it's also my birthday. It's the day after Christmas, and it was rough. I was feeling pretty down. And then we didn't really have a whole lot of energy to do a lot of reviews. And but I still was trying to keep up with the community, and I was checking on comments. And I'll be totally honest here. I'm pretty thick-skinned, and I've been doing this for about a decade. And so I try to take too many things personal. And usually the comments on YouTube are very supportive. I'd say 95% great comments and 5% just crap. That's a pretty good ratio, though. I'll take the 95 to 5 any day. But I feel like the week of Christmas, there was several in a row that really hit me hard. And I had to ban some people from our Engearment YouTube channel. I think I banned 4 or 5 people that week. I don't usually do that, but they're just toxic. And there's mostly really good people out there, right? Especially in the world that I get to operate with you guys. I'm very grateful for the opportunities to get to know a lot of you, interact with you all around the world, and I just absolutely cherish it. And there's sometimes when it's not that way, and it's just a comment or two that just rips me a new one, and it sucks. Now, so I'm feeling sick. I'm like borderline hanging on. My truck's broken into. I've got a handful of really disturbing comments to try and handle. And I felt pretty low. Pretty low. And on top of that, I had to cancel Christmas and cancel my birthday. And like this, life's handing it to me. I've been through a lot worse. Trust me, I've been through a whole lot worse than this. And I've probably shared, I have shared many years ago, my why. I've lost my parents and siblings. I've been a caretaker. I've made some bad decisions in the past too. And I've shared that too. So I've definitely been through worse. But yeah, there's a combination of events really took me down. So just getting back into it this week, as you probably saw, getting more content up there. But right after the Beacon Bash and before getting sick, we did get quite a few reviews up. Let's try and cover them here real quick. The Cool Invigorator Merino Crew, nice shirt there. True Work, the T2 work pant, and then you'll see later this week or next week the T3 bib. Pretty awesome stuff. Actually, I'm going to go shoot the video in the mountains today, but we have 50-mile-an-hour plus gusts up there, so I couldn't keep the cameras steady enough to shoot the video, so I just shot it here in the studio. You probably saw a lot of things in the studio here the last 2 months as opposed to the mountains, and it's because it's been crazy weather up there, and also I've not been able to get up there because I've shared with you, I'm still dealing with post-surgery physical therapy in my feet, and to try and capture it real quick, the last year, 2023, was the most kind of messed up physically I've been. Broke my left foot 3 times, got diagnosed with gout in both feet. I have been dealing with arthritis for 20 years in both feet. Had to have surgery on the left foot, and then 6 months later, the right foot to remove the arthritic tissue. And physical therapy, it's been tough. I mean, there's been highlights, and then there's been lowlights. And then in between that, I've gotten injuries in other parts of my body as my body's compensated for the movement. Tore some muscles on my wrist, sprained my foot, strained some muscles in my abdomen, just had a pretty decent bike crash while I was testing out an e-bike at like 20 miles an hour. Various injuries resulted from that. Just been a pretty humbling year, to be totally honest. I'm looking forward to getting back on track. In fact, just to give you some perspective, I had my first full workout just this week in 1 year. The first time I was able to do the weights, you probably see the kettlebells back there. The first time in a year I was able to do the weights I actually was doing prior to all these injuries. So that I'm on the way up. So this is good, but it's been challenging. That being said, we've got a lot of coverage done on other stuff too. My man Dan Jimenez out in Hawaii covered the Oru Kayak Bay. It's like an origami kayak. And Dan Jimenez, Ryan Humphreys, and 2 others are heading down tomorrow, actually, to Mexico to ascend the 3rd highest peak in North America. So you have Denali, Logan in Canada, and then this volcano in Mexico. So Dan and Ryan and crew will have a bunch of gear reviews coming out of that adventure. I believe it's an 18,000 foot peak they're going for. And so we have them set up with stuff from Thermarest and Jolbo and Outdoor Research and Sloya, Loa, La Sportiva, some pretty badass mountaineering stuff. So a lot to look forward to there. And then Insta360X. These guys out in Hawaii sent out this really cool DJI microphone holder / cage for the X3 360 camera, which is my favorite 360 camera. Even though I work with GoPro to develop some stuff that I can't talk about, the Insta360X is my favorite. Gosh, it's cold. It's still kicking my butt. All right, I've become in love with Paca. They make clothing out of alpaca wool. I'm wearing a merino wool shirt right now, but the jacket I've been rocking for the last 3 months is alpaca. So the Paca Apu lightweight puffer is their lightweight puffer, but it's as good as any down 800 fill down jacket I've ever used. It's really incredible, and I encourage you to look into alpaca wool. It's impressive. It's even better than merino. That's saying a lot. If you know me and you know this channel for 10 years, all I do is talk about merino wool. Just love it. Now I found something even better, so stay tuned for more alpaca gear. Jolbo Lightyear goggles. These are really nice goggles. Love Jolbo. They work. They work really, really well. Of all the companies we test, I find that the Jolbo photochromic technology just is consistent. It lasts and lasts and lasts. Other ones work really well, but they often degrade after a few years, especially the way I treat gear. But the Jolbo just lasts. But not to be outdone, Smith let me be part of their testing program for the new 3D custom goggles, the Imprint 3D Custom Squad XL. So in the review, I show you how this works. Basically, you download an app from Smith and it scans your face, and then a week or 2 later, you get back a pair of goggles that are custom made to your face. So no more like getting nose binding right here. You don't have to try and find, there's Asian fit on a lot of goggles. There's different sizes on goggles, but if you have goggles that are bespoke to your face, then there's nothing like it. It feels so incredible. So that was a fun pleasure to work with them on that. And then Paca sent over their joggers. This is kind of funny because I live in hiking pants. I live in the TrueWork T1 pants at the moment, and I don't wear joggers, I don't wear sweatpants, but fortunately, when these came in, I was sick, and I lived in these for like 2 or 3 weeks, and they were very, very comfortable. Air Blaster Ninja Suit Pro 2. This is a fun onesie made of soft shell material. It is hardcore. They have a merino wool version as well, but this one is it's so fun, and it's great for if you're a sledder, brap. This would be great for you. A little bit warm for split boarding, but resort riding would be great for that too. And then of course Hot Chilies got wind of that, so they sent over their Clima Wool Merino Zip, which is a nice merino wool like this. It just has a quarter zip, so a little bit higher collar. And then this is kind of a fun one. I was talking with True, T-R-E-W, and for Christmas my wife got a pair of True bibs, so I'll have a review of those up here pretty soon. And their PR person was talking about Plata, which a couple of people from North Face founded. They left North Face and founded Plata, and it's a very nice Peruvian cotton flannels. And I'm not that big of a flannel person, but it was perfect timing because at our gym every year we have a Festivus, Yeah, like from Seinfeld, a Festivus event. And the theme is usually lumberjacks. Everybody dresses in plaid. So the flannel came in, perfect timing. And I wound up wearing it for some holiday photo pictures and stuff like that. It was very nice flannel. So I have a review of that up as well. Hestra. Love Hestra. So Hestra sent over the fall line glove, which is their classic glove. You know that you've probably seen the Hestra fall line. It is really good. So I had the review up on that. Bubba Goose Design Trunk Monkey, which is a very long-winded term for basically a USA made and sewn up in Seattle, Washington. I don't want to say bulletproof, so I want somebody to literally shoot the thing. But it's like tear impervious. It's the most burly bag ever, especially here in Colorado. This year they passed a law where there's no more bags at stores. So this is the bag I carry into stores to carry groceries. It's legit. It's so awesome. I'm actually going to go back and probably buy 2 more because I use it so often. Then the Hestra Ergo Grip gloves. These actually, they look like golf gloves, but I use them for biking all summer, and then they're great for touring. You know, they're lightweight, windproof, awesome gloves. And then Orage Morrison Giltech Hybrid Jacket. Orage out of Canada makes some pretty cool clothing, and a lot of active insulation jackets rely on the insulation itself to dump the heat. Orage designed a system that uses gills like a salamander might have, or fish, to dump the heat. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool idea. So there's a review up on that. Mountain Hardwear Exposure 2 glove. These are actually my favorite gloves. They're a gauntlet style, which I really like gauntlet for most days in the backcountry. Undercuff is fantastic too. I just like to shove my hand in the gauntlet, cinch it down, and then I'm good to go. We're catching up. Devin has a video in her 686 Gore-Tex Skyline jacket and Smarty 3-in-1 gloves. So we had a late start to our ski and snowboard season here in Colorado. So we will have a lot of stuff, especially from Devin, on ski or on snowboard equipment and clothing. So stay tuned for that. And then I got to interview the founder of Raid. They make one thing right now: backcountry, splitboard kind of specific backpacks. So I got to interview Kyle Siegel, and he was a blast to talk with. And we talked about not just the backpack, but also other things he's developing. So we'll have another interview with him later this season to see if we can disclose what it is he's developing. He told me off camera, and I'm pretty dang excited. But I always want to make sure that I'm respecting embargoed information. So Kyle, we'll have to do part 2 here in a couple months. And then I've been, we test a lot of microphones here. We get sent a lot of microphones. I have like 6 sets just out of camera view right here. And so, like I mentioned earlier, I take audio pretty seriously, and hopefully the audio coming through, to you right now is good. So we got sent these Nearstream AWM20s, and so I compared them to the same price point would be the Hollyland Lark M1, which are pretty popular microphones. So I did that, and I used it. I believe I used that on. Did I use it on the Ace? No, that's a different review. And then on-camera microphones, I reviewed the Joby, which I have on the A7 IV camera, which is above this Sony camera right here. The Wavo Plus. So that's like, I did a comparison to the Rode Video NTG. About $200 price point. And so, again, if you're a camera person or a nerd, or just a person looking to get an on-camera field reference of how to get audio, whether wireless microphone, right now the Rode Wireless Go, or on-camera microphones, hopefully these videos are helpful for you. I enjoy making them because I like nerding out about audio. What's up next? Oh, another microphone. 3 microphones in a row, and they're all different. There was the wireless microphone, then there's an on-camera microphone, and then this is the Phoenix Pro wireless microphone system that I mentioned earlier that we use for the Beacon Bash. So this would be like more of a handheld, Shure SM58 looking kind of microphone. And then, more Paca. They sent over their new fleece right as it came out. And again, I was really sick, so I literally lived in this fleece, and it's like so fleece is usually polyester, nylon mix, and it's synthetic, and it's warm. But this is almost all alpaca wool, a little bit of polyester to keep the structure. And it's warmer than any other fleece, and it's more soft. It's like, I think, if I can remember, like maybe 18 micron or 17 micron, which would be like this wool right here is 17.5, 18 micron. What does that mean? In case you don't know, The lower the number on the micron, the softer. So like cashmere might be like 14 or 15. So like 18 is soft. Grandma's sweater is probably like 30. The itchy sweater that you're probably thinking of wool. Oh, and then pens. Do I have it? Yep. So I always have a tactical pen on me, or an everyday carry pen. This one right here they sent over is the Bastion titanium bolt action everyday carry pen. It's like a $140 pen. And I use it all the time. Bolt action, badass pen. Gotta love the Sony autofocus. That was cool. All right, Dan Jimenez covers the Bearskin 3.0 tactical hoodie. Dan actually broke our internet, our Engearment YouTube channel stats last year with his Bearskin 2.0 review. I think he had like 200 or 300,000 views on it. So I imagine we'll have a lot of views on this one too. Basically, he does a really good job comparing the 3, the new one, to the 2, which he is like world famous for. Him and Ryan are featured in their videos. Even though I did the video first, these Dan and Ryan are just much more handsome and do a better job covering than I did. Houdini out of Sweden, they sent over their paste jacket. It's really cool. It's like this. It's probably, it is the lightest weight soft shell jacket I've ever used. It's a good touring piece. I use it in the gym quite a bit. We keep our gym cold. We like to train for outdoor adventures. So I always have a jacket on. I think we're caught up. Yes, and then we have Molly Averin, the Adventure Dog channel, and Pete's Adventure Pack. She was a hoot to have on the podcast. And like I mentioned, next podcast, next Wednesday, will be Arbor belts, which I'm wearing one right now. I'll show to you. Yep, Arbor. It's a pretty awkward shot. I thought the camera might pan out a little bit, but it did not. So you just got to see my belly button. Okay, and then I will have reviews up on some Gordini gloves, the TrueWork T3, my heated vest, and I think I might spend some time this weekend going over different microphones with the new Insta360 Ace Pro camera, because everybody's doing reviews on the camera and talking crap about it and this and that, and I don't want to make the same video everybody else is doing. I want to show you how I've been using it and what microphones sound good going through it. So I'll have that up. Gosh. And yeah, and in personal, my wife and I are building a house. And tomorrow we get to go do the pre-drywall inspection and meet with the builder and his team and learn about all the intricacies of the house, where the outlets are, all that fun stuff. So it's been a fun process. And as of today, right now, our house is listed. So the Engearment headquarters that you see right here is available for sale. I don't know. I've never thought I would pitch my home on a podcast, but I am. Here we are. If you are looking for a place in Denver, I can vouch for this one. I've lived here for 15 years. Got a pool, deck, dog friendly, great neighbors, super awesome place to live. Bike path 2 blocks away, middle of Denver, close to Cherry Creek. Fair price too. We're asking $365. Other places in our unit have gone, or our complex have gone for $425. So imagine it'll be a little bit bitty more. But we're moving now east by the airport, and we're building a home from scratch. And it will be the new Engearment headquarters. And I'm looking forward to having actually guest bedrooms for people to stay over. Even though our Engearment teammates were happy with a couch and a sleeping bag, we're dirtbags again, right? We don't need bedrooms. But if we have family over, or anybody else who wants a bed, we'll have them covered. And this is cool because, a lot of the reviews we've done on sleeping gear technology, like the 8 Sleep and the Chili Sleep, since we have a lot of those units, every bed's going to have that kind of sleeping system. So it can guarantee be a really good night's sleep, and you can track all your metrics and heart rate variability. And yeah, I'm a nerd. You can tell I'm a nerd for gear, and I love hosting, and I love good people, which if you're listening or watching, I'm assuming you're a good person, and I'm assuming you're not the kind of person that leaves weird comments on YouTube that are disturbing and can potentially ruin somebody's day or week. So for that, I thank you. And more importantly, I thank you for the decade now of support with Engearment. Thank you for all the great questions that come through on the YouTube channel or even on email. You can always email me, Sean@engearment.com or info@engearment.com. And yeah, a lot to look forward to in 2024. Oh yeah, some things in 2024 to look forward to. That was like the whole opening segment. I'll try and wrap this up in the next minute. In the next month, we will have the big trade show, the OMA, Outdoor Market Alliance. We have, oh my God, do I even want to pull up the list? I won't. There's probably 80 different people we're meeting with over the course of 2 days. So I'm going to take 6 or 8 Engearment riders. I've got different cameras and gimbals set up for each one of them with microphones, and we're going to meet with Arc'teryx, and I'll start at A, Arc'teryx, will end at Z for Zeal, to save you some time. Everything in between we're meeting with. If you see it at REI, the brand, we're meeting with them to go over 2025's gear, and we'll shoot videos for that and have that all live. I was over there 2 weeks ago dropping off the beacons from the Beacon Bash for Mammut, and I got to see what's new in Mammut. I hope that we can be the first to break to you what it is. I've had it in my hand. I've had the things in my hand, and they are really, really nice. I'm definitely going to get a couple of them. And I can't tease you any more than that about it. So we'll have that going. And then in March, 2 big things. Be in Sante Fe for the Beacon Bash. So if you're in the Sante Fe area, beginning of March, I'll get the specific dates here soon. The Beacon Bash, we will be down there hosting our free event to get your skills up to par, get you comfortable with using a beacon, probe, and shovel, and maybe even win some cool gear. And of course, help a good cause. And then later in March, I believe I'll be meeting with Outdoor Vitals to do a backpacking trip with them and some other YouTubers and media. So looking forward to doing that. And then, yeah, by April 1st, we should be in our new house, and I'll give you guys a tour of the new Engearment studio. This has been a lot of fun. This studio right here has been a lot of fun, but the new one I have in mind, I've been collecting bits and pieces of it, of the gear over the last 6 months. It's going to be epic. Going to be really epic. And there's a lot more to look forward to, but I've got your attention for 31 minutes. That's longer than I wanted it and longer than I deserved. So thank you for listening this far, watching this far. A lot to look forward to in 2024. Thank you for being part of the community, and thank you for being an awesome person. Until next time, take care.